The Veil of Shadows. On a cold, moonless night in the Nevada desert, Jane Carter adjusted the lens of her telescope, scanning the infinite expanse of the sky. She was an investigative journalist with a deep fascination for the unexplained, inspired by the works of researchers like Linda Moulton Howe. Jane had spent years chasing rumors of alien encounters, but lately, the stories had taken on a darker, more sinister tone. Abductions, strange crafts, and whispers of hidden bases on the moon. Her research had led her here, just outside the infamous Area 51. As she stared into the heavens, a glint of silver caught her eye. At first, she thought it was a satellite, but the object moved erratically, zipping across the sky in a manner no human technology could replicate. Her pulse quickened. She grabbed her camera, zooming in. The craft was egg-shaped, smooth, and emitted a faint, pulsating glow. It hovered for a moment, then shot upwards with impossible speed. Before she could react, a low hum filled the air, and her surroundings seemed to warp. A shadow fell over her campsite, and Jane turned to see two tall figures in dark suits approaching. "Miss Carter," one of them said in a monotone voice. His face was expressionless, his eyes hidden behind black sunglasses despite the darkness. "We need you to come with us." She hesitated, but the hum grew louder, almost deafening. Jane's vision blurred, and the world around her faded. When she awoke, Jane found herself in a sterile, dimly lit room. A large circular window revealed a view of Earth, a glowing blue and white sphere suspended in darkness. She was on the moon. Two men in black stood nearby, speaking in hushed tones to a figure she couldn't make out. When they noticed she was awake, one of them approached. "You're part of something bigger now, Miss Carter," he said. "Your knowledge of UFOs and extraterrestrial phenomena has drawn attention, both human and otherwise." The figure in the shadows stepped forward, and Jane gasped. It was a gray, its large black eyes reflecting her shock. "They've been watching us for millennia," the agent continued, "guiding us, manipulating us. But there's another faction, a darker force, operating from the far side of the moon." The gray placed a hand on her forehead, and images flooded her mind. Sprawling alien bases hidden in craters, abductees being experimented on, and a colossal black structure, an obelisk, rising from the lunar surface. The men in black explained that the obelisk was a transmitter, sending signals to Earth to manipulate human consciousness. It was built by an ancient, malevolent race, the precursors, who viewed humanity as nothing more than pawns. "They've been using abductions to study us," the agent said, "to understand our biology, our weaknesses." Jane's investigative instincts kicked in. "And you've known about this? Covered it up?" "For humanity's survival," the agent replied. "Panic would destroy us. But now the precursors are escalating. Their drones, those UAPs you've been chasing, are probing for vulnerabilities, and their experiments are becoming more brutal." Over the next days, Jane was shown the hidden side of reality. The men in black operated under the Majestic 12, a secret task force tasked with managing extraterrestrial threats. The Greys were uneasy allies, providing intelligence in exchange for resources. She learned of abductees returned with fragmented memories and strange implants, some emitting frequencies that influenced their thoughts. She met others like her, journalists, scientists, and former abductees, all brought to the moon to be part of an underground resistance. Their mission was clear: infiltrate the precursor base on the moon's far side, destroy the obelisk, and sever its control over Earth. The team ventured into the shadowy depths of the lunar surface, where sunlight never touched. The precursor base loomed ahead, a sprawling labyrinth of black metal and eerie, pulsating light. As they moved deeper, Jane felt a presence, an oppressive force that seemed to pierce her mind. Suddenly, they were ambushed. Precursor drones, sleek and serpentine, emerged from the shadows. The men in black fought valiantly, their weapons emitting bursts of energy, but the drones were relentless. Jane and a Gray managed to slip past the chaos, reaching the obelisk. Up close, it radiated a dark energy that made her skin crawl. The Gray placed a device at its base, a bomb designed to disrupt its power source. As they activated the device, the obelisk emitted a deafening roar, and Jane saw visions of Earth, wars, chaos, and despair, all orchestrated by the precursors. The Gray looked at her, its voice echoing in her mind. "You must warn your people. The fight isn't over." They barely escaped the explosion. As the base collapsed, Jane and the survivors were transported back to Earth. The men in black erased the memories of most, but Jane was allowed to remember. Her articles about UFOs and secret lunar bases were dismissed as fiction, yet she continued to write, embedding the truth in her stories. Late at night, she would look up at the moon, knowing the battle for humanity's freedom was far from over.